amazing sense of freedom. And nobody could touch me and nobody could stop me. It just sort of empowered me. My name is Elspeth Beard and I'm the first British woman to go around the world on a motorbike. When I was 23, I rode my bike around the world for just over 2 years. I left in 1982, travelling 35,000 miles through 20 countries. In those days, it didn't even occur to anybody for a second that it would be a woman riding a bike. So when I was actually riding the bike and I was fully dressed in all my gear, I felt quite safe. Iran was at war with Iraq. There were lots of tanks and soldiers, and there were roadblocks every 50 or 100 miles.
Take a little time, take a little ride. sounds good. Thank you. Okay. Missing. Thank you so much.
SANEF Paris-Normandie vous assiste dans quelques instants.
Excusez-moi madame, j'ai un billet, la machine ne marche pas.
Vous avez un ticket?
Oui.
Oui, j'ai débloqué la machine, monsieur. Vous pouvez mettre votre ticket.
Ok, merci. Oui, oui. Merci. Bonjour. C'est très chaud. Merci.
Sail away with me, honey. Put my heart in your hand. Sail away with me, honey, now, now, now. Sail away with me. What will be, will be. I wanna hold you now, now, now. Crazy skies are wild above me now. Winter howling at my face, and everything I held so dear disappeared without a trace. Oh, all the times I tasted love, never knew quite what I had. Little darling, if you hear me now, never needed you so bad. Spinning round inside my head. Sail away with me, honey. I put my heart in your hand. Sail away with me, honey, now, now, now. Sail away with me. What will be, will be. I wanna hold you now, now, now.
None of my family had any interest in my journey, and nobody could really understand what I'd done, and I had nobody to talk to. The only person I had in the whole world I could talk to who understood what I'd been through was Robert.
I've been talking drunken gibberish, falling in and out of bars, trying to get some explanation here by the way some people alive. How did it ever come so far?